Hi everybody, my name is Greg and I'm a singer here in South Korea. To be specific, an R&B singer here in South Korea, originally from America. And so today I'm going to be doing a review of the B-Free 2.0 by MUSICUS. Alright, so of course this is a review, but I'm also going to kind of walk you through the process of how it goes from start to finish, from delivery to unboxing to the setup to the recording before and after being in the studio. And so hopefully you enjoyed this entire walkthrough of my experience with the B-Free. Well, initially this room was really just an office for me. I used to use it for recording sometimes, just like a top line kind of vibe or just a simple melody. Not an ideal room for recording. The sound wasn't that great. And really just something like a bright, tinsy sound, not what you would use for a typical recording. You couldn't make a professional recording in that room, right? So I'll let you hear that, of course. But it's nice to show you the process from going this way, because at first I was going to do a full-on studio, which those installations are super expensive, right? So I was like, I go to a studio enough that I don't need to build a full studio at home, but it'd be nice to have at least a studio that's workable that I can use at home. So I'm sure you're wondering why the B-Free 2.0. Well, let's get into it. Of course, number one, easy to assemble. Of course, people say, easy to assemble for a home studio? Well, more than you would expect anyway. Like I said, it arrives in perfect packaging, no damage or anything, all of the panels, the wood top, the wood bottom, and the frame. And I was surprised. It came with some weight. It's kind of heavy, but that's a good sign, right? It took all of an hour between my friend and I to put it together. So I could say maybe you and your friends, family, however long, maybe an hour to get it all together, just a screwdriver to get it all in. So that's the great thing about it. Easy to assemble. You're doing it. You don't have to have someone come in and install a full studio in your house that takes all day or all weekend. You can do it yourself, right? And that is amazing. I think for the price and the time, you can't beat what this does. The B-Free 2.0 is really perfect for that. And of course, the noise reduction. Oh, that's important number two. Actually, it's almost a number one, but still just an important part, right? Noise reduction. Of course, you want the sound to be blocked in here, right? You don't want the sound escaping out and leaking. Super important. So one thing about this booth that I really love that makes it a true home studio, it reduces the sound minus 26 decibels. That's amazing. So let's imagine you have sound playing in here at 80 decibels, and then outside of the booth is taking it down 26 decibels. You're getting down into the 50s, right? That's basically conversation level. So your neighbor will never know what's going on. You're just in here having a conversation. You're not loud or disturbing your neighbor at all, or your mom in the other room in that case, if you're in a house. And so the noise isolation and reduction is really, really amazing for a home studio. So I got a sound meter so I can even show you how much. So check this out. Wow, really professional review now. Yeah. So I'll show you the difference between the sound playing in here and the sound playing outside of here. All right, so inside the booth, you can see it right there. In silence, with the fan running, we're around 35 decibels. It's blocking the sound from outside, so 35 decibels inside here. It's pretty nice. And let's play some music, particularly my song. Song is called Find a Way, featuring White.
Been trying to get your love, I want it. The feeling of the rush to my body. I try to save you,
Mid-80s.
let you feel some freedom too. You know,
Let's step out, see how much it does it.
it's not a no.
All right. So directly outside of the studio, already down to 57. So you're getting your 26 decibels like they promised. Now, if you're out of the room, closed door, even more. So now it's down to around 45. So that's within the same house. So let's say if you're next door, maybe the next apartment. In America, it'd be the next house, which you definitely wouldn't hear, but let's check it anyway. And there we are, back to 32, like you're inside of the booth, inside of the studio. The sound is down to less than conversation level. Conversation level is around 50, normal conversation. Of course, it's picking up my voice directly, so it's saying 70s. But when you're a room away, actually the sound is pretty much not there. See, there you have it. You can see the difference right away. It's so cool, right? When sound's playing in here at around, 80 decibels or so? When you're outside, you get down into the, high 50s, low 60s. That's pretty amazing. Like we said, over 26 decibels dropped. And so you're getting back down to conversation level outside of the booth. So family members outside who maybe don't want to hear you singing, I don't know, or hear you practicing. That's how my mom would be. Or your neighbors, of course, they don't want to maybe hear that. So they won't hear it. It'll sound like a regular conversation to them outside of the booth. So perfectly damped, perfectly blocked the sound for your neighbors, your friends who are next door. And last but not least, sound absorption. Yeah, what draws the sound in, right? And so really important part of having any home studio, because you don't want the sound outside of the booth, so it needs to draw it in. So that outer wall, it's kind of the hard wall panel there. So that's blocking the sound on the outer side. Then the inner part, the porous side, is kind of like a sponge on the inside, actually is drawing about 89% of the mid to high levels of the sound. Pretty awesome, right there. So you get that recording feel like you're in a studio where the sound is nice and dry. So that's when you're recording. You can hear your voice purely. And of course, I've also recorded my own song. So you can hear the difference in the sound outside of the B-Free 2.0 versus the sound inside of it, right? And so essentially, I Can't Take My Eyes Off of You. Yeah, my remake version that I've recorded. So you can check out the difference of the sound inside and outside.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You be like heaven to touch. And I wanna hold you so much. And long last love has arrived. And I thank God you're alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. Pardon the way that I stare. There's nothing else to compare. The sight of you leaves me weak. There are no words left to speak. So if you feel like I feel, please let me know that it's real. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. Oh, no, I love you, baby. And if it's quite alright, I need you, baby, to warm the lonely nights. I love you, baby. Trust in me when I say it's okay. Oh, pretty baby, don't bring me down, I pray. Oh, pretty baby, now that I found you, stay and let me love you, baby. Let me love you. Oh, you're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You be like heaven to touch. And I wanna hold you so much. And long last love has arrived. And I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. Pardon the way that I stare. There's nothing else to compare. The sight of you leaves me weak. There are no words left to speak. So if you feel like I feel, please let me know that it's real. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. Oh, no, I love you, baby. And if it's quite alright, I need you, baby, to warm the lonely nights. I love you, baby. Trust in me when I say it's
it's okay. Oh, pretty baby, don't bring me down, I pray. Oh, pretty baby, now that I found you, stay and let me love you, baby. Let me love you. So, as you could probably hear, the sound before being in the booth is lacking, right? Of course, when you're in the studio, it's just a different sound, a different fullness to the voice. When you're outside of a studio and recording in an open room like that, there's not much of a blend. It's like the voice and the music are really separated, and the voice sounds really tinny and light. It's not a super pleasant recording feeling versus being in a studio where you can actually blend the sound more and match the sound in the background of the vocal or versus the instrumental. I think it's just a more beautiful sound personally, but maybe you like both of them. I don't know. I sing well inside and outside of the booth, but I think it sounds better, and hopefully you can tell the difference inside of the booth where you get that super rich sound actually, because it's dry and a clear sound of your voice instead. So funny enough, I sent it to a friend of mine who also works in music, and he was like, "Did you record it in the studio?" And I was like, yeah. So, it is a home studio, right? Like I said, the B-Free home studio is really nice, but it's, when we say professional studio, he thought I went to an actual studio and recorded. I'm like, no, I did this at my house. And he's like, you have a home studio? I'm like, well, yeah, technically. The B-Free 2.0 is my new home studio, so it works in that way. But I think you'll understand the difference outside of a recording studio versus inside is really quite different. So you can check out the difference in that way. All right, on to the next fun part of the video, some helpful tips. In Korean, we say 꿀팁, right? Your honey tip, as we would say. So for me, having a home studio was already an interesting thought to think of, like, how does it work? So for this size, I went with the medium size, like I mentioned before. Enough space for my speakers in here, my computer's right there, the desk. So the space is actually pretty solid for the B-Free 2.0. And as far as I mentioned, you can change the size as well. But the medium size is pretty workable for me. And for power in your studio, you'll notice in the panels, when you install the fabric, there's a little gap there that you can actually insert the power strips into. So in my case, I installed 2 power strips. Pretty simple. There they are. And another super important part of the B-Free 2.0 is this. And like, where's he pointing? The ventilation. Every studio, of course, needs a solid ventilation of some sort. Maybe there's AC inside or something. So in this case, you've got the ventilation here, and it's got a reverse switch so you can have the air intake or it just push the air out. And so in my house, I've got the AC outside of the studio itself. So I've got it set to bring the air in. And so it helps me a lot to stay cool in here because I'm a hot guy, so I need it to be cool. So thankful for that. And finally, lighting. Oh, well, of course, the booth doesn't come with its own lighting, so you can kind of do what you want to do with it. In my case, I just hopped over to IKEA and got 2 lights, clipped them to the sides, and called it a day. For me, that's enough. But you could probably light it up any way you want to. String some lights around the edges, get some panel lights on the floor. So many ways you could light it up. Some people, maybe even just the computer screen might be enough to light it up for you. But yeah, there's multiple things you can do with it. Light the booth up in your way. For me, 2 clips, 2 lights, finished. All right. Well, my final thoughts on the B-Free 2.0. So many good things to say. And I know it's a review and you want to hear, oh, come on, be honest. I'm being very, very honest. My expectation at first was thinking like a real home studio, full installation where they take the whole room and panel it out. In this case, an installation that I was able to do myself with a friend. Super impressed. Just a little muscle. You need, some muscle to put it together. But honestly, if it was super easy to put together, then I think it wouldn't probably isolate well. So the fact that it's pretty solid materials and they've got some weight to them shows the quality of this home studio. And so that's the good point for it. You won't bother your neighbors. You won't bother your mom or your dad. Maybe they're in the other room while you're, practicing an instrument or singing. You don't have to worry about them hearing anything. Like I said, the sound isolation is grade A in here. I showed you the decibel meter. You could see the difference is actually huge. And the sound quality inside the booth studio is amazing, like much better than what you expect. So I first expected, oh, maybe it'll just be kind of a light situation because, you're installing it yourself. No, it's worthwhile for sure. Definitely price-wise, amazing. Sound-wise, oh, even better. And so, beyond the installation, which didn't take that long, I think it's totally worthwhile and you should check it out. The B-Free 2.0. Choose the size that you want and enrich your life, your sound, your recording, all at home. That's been it for me, and I'm Greg again. All the best to you, and hopefully you'll have a B-Free 2.0 soon. All the best. Bye.